The guy, like, I'm telling the guy, like, seriously, like, you do not have to watch my shit if you do not want to. Oh, I'm not gonna get monetized. Oh no. You don't have to watch my shit. You don't have to. Like, seriously. They're like, oh, well, I know you. I want to watch your shit. I'm like, no, no, no. If you're not gonna pay attention to the book, I don't give a fuck if you watch it. I really don't care. Once again, this is not made for kids. This is l'étranger. There's like prison rape in this. Yeah, I'm keep on like there's never going to be commercials on this channel, okay? There's just not going to be. I'm going to make sure of it. I don't care if I have 1,000,000 subs. Please don't make that happen. I don't want. I already have over 100, which doesn't make sense because I don't know 100 fucking people. If I don't know 100 fucking people, then why are 100 people subscribed to me? Even from the hobby, like I've unknown more people than that. But come on. Anyway, we're going back to L'Étranger. We're going back to The Stranger by Albert Camus. We're going to go from part 2, chapter 3 until I'm done reading to a camera in my end of the house with some glaring 1990s high school senior photograph lighting behind me. There's another light behind me there. Hey, double lighting. I'm double lighting. I'm like so fancy. There's 2 lights here. I mean, like, are you not spoiled? But I can honestly say that the time from summer to summer went very quickly. And I knew as soon as the weather turned hot that something new was in store for me. My case was set down for the last session of the Court of Assize, and that session was due to end sometime in June. The trial opened with the sun glaring outside. My lawyer had assured me that it wouldn't last more than 2 or 3 days. Besides, he added, the court will be pressed for time. I mean, yours isn't the most important case of the session. I mean, right after you, there's a parasite coming up. And nobody killed a parasite. There's a parasite with 2 R's. Look it up. They came for me at 7:30 in the morning, and I was driven to the courthouse in the prison van. The 2 policemen took me into a small room that smelled of darkness. It smelled of darkness. Think about that sentence. This is how I get around the copyright. I'm actually making commentary on this book. I'm not just fucking reading it from cover to cover like idiots do with the Bible and then okay it. Like, stamped. Somebody just offered me something on eBay I don't give a fuck about. Right after you, there's a parasite. Parricide. Para. I think that's your Latin. That's what, your grandfather or your father? No. Father. Okay, well, anyway. Here's the Mailday update. Now that I've made everything completely uncomfortable. All right. I would like to give a big ol' shout out to Pokemon. P-O-K-E, Juan, W, no, Y-U-A-N. It's one more time. We're gonna celebrate. Here's my cat coming into my room. Oh yeah, here come my kitty cat. One time. She wants her chair sorted. That's what it is. Here. Your chair sorted. Hey. Oi, oi. Your chair's sorted. Get on it. You got enough. Hey, oi. Kitten. Get up there. There you go. I told you she wants on her Mickey and Mickey Mouse Yankees towel. She has to be on this. If I don't have it situated over this metal, it's a metal fucking chair. This could not be any less comfortable. And yet, this cat, it's a cat. I mean, like, you can't explain cats. That's not how it works. But I would like to thank Pokemon. I don't know why I have to thank him because it was a free giveaway. So, quite frankly, I should say, hell yeah, I beat Pokemon's channel. But I don't. I don't. That ain't how it works. Anyway, I know. No, the lighting's always going to be just as bad. I'm always going to be as ugly. Anyway, he was kind of looking for a few thank yous and all that, and everybody was trying to do their best, right? But he didn't get his mark. He didn't get his 10 giveaway or his 10 thank yous or super thanks or whatever. But he still was like, you know what? I still want to give away a slab. So I ended up winning a Silver Tempest Trainer Gallery. Got a little waifu. Oh, wrong finger. Little waifu in the background here with the Flaffy, which also in this set got a gold card for a Middle Evolution. That is the only Middle Evolution gold card I can think of. If you can think of one and I'm wrong, that's what the comment section is. Tell me I'm a retard. Tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me I probably have fluoride poisoning because RFK Jr. said so. I don't care what you say. Smart not is for children. Jesus Christ, you can say whatever you want. But anyway, I still ended up with a Flaffy from Pokemon, who is family friendly. So don't go over there and be all like, hey, Void said you fucks about. No, don't do that. But yeah, pretty dope. I like Flaffy because there was a dark Flaffy in Team Rocket Returns. Look it up, folks. Yes, I'm a dark fan. Back to the Congia. We're going back to the Stranger. No idea what's going on my phone. Oh, it's charged. That means it's time for my vape to charge. They came for me at 7:30 in the morning, and I was driven to the courthouse in the prison van. The two policemen took me into a small room that smelled of darkness. We waited seated near a door through which we could hear voices, shouts, chairs being dragged across the floor, and a lot of commotion, which made me think of the neighborhood of fetes, which had the hall had cleared for dancing around after the concert. The policeman told me we had to wait for the judges, and one of them offered me a cigarette, which I turned down. Shortly after that, he asked me if I had the jitters. I said no, and after that, in a way, I was even interested in seeing a trial. I'd never had the chance before. Yeah, said the other policeman, but it gets a bit boring after a while. Cat, you open my door all the way. Yes, you. Yeah, I see your little. Yeah. Now I have to close my door so my little girl doesn't hear my commentary. Because if she hears that, she may become a nihilistic cunt like me. And I don't want that happening. No. No, we don't want that happening. We're already negative enough for our own sake. Yes, kitty. I love my cat. I really do. I mean, Katya is. Katya. 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 Yep. Say hello to the camera. Make love to the camera. Oh, give them the peace. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. All right. Anyway. Oh, too much. There we go. We waited seated near a door, which we could hear blah, 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 blah. The policeman told me we had to wait for the judges, and one of them offered me a cigarette, which I turned down. Shortly after that, he asked me if I had the jitters. I said no, and that after that, in a way, I was even interested in seeing a trial. I'd never seen one. I never had the chance before. Yeah, said the other policeman, but it gets a little boring after a while. Okay, we're all caught up. A short time later, a small bell rang in the room. Then they took my handcuffs off. Them handcuffs. They opened the door and led me into the docks. The room was packed. Despite the blinds, the sun filtered through in places, and the air was already stifling. They hadn't opened the windows. I sat down with the policemen standing on either side of me. It was then that I noticed a row of faces in front of me. They were all looking at me. I realized that they were the jury. But I can't say what distinguished one from another. I had just seen one impression. I was sitting across from a row of seats on a streetcar, and all those anonymous passengers were looking over the new arrival to see if they could find something funny about him. I knew it was a silly idea, since it wasn't anything funny that they were looking for after a crime. There isn't much difference, though. In any case, that was the idea that came to me. Always, it's the Delphian motto: "To thine own self be true, know thyself." Whatever. You have to, the internalized realizations, admit them. I was feeling a little bit dizzy too, with all those people in a stuffy room. I looked around the courtroom again, but I couldn't make out a single face. I think that at first I hadn't realized that all those people were crowding in to see me. Usually people didn't pay much attention to me. I mean, it took some doing on my part to understand that I was the cause of all the excitement. I said to the policeman, "Some crowd." He told me it was because of the press, and then he pointed to a group of men at the table just below the jury box. He said, "That's them." I asked, "Who?" And he replied and repeated, "The press." He knew of the reporters who just then spotted him and was making his way toward us. He was an older, friendly gentleman with a twisted little grin on his face. He gave the policeman a warm handshake. I noticed then that that everyone was wait. Oh shit! I have to hold on. It's Shark is here. Shark, are you? I'm live. Derp. Yep. Don't buy cards off of Alibaba or AliExpress or Temu or Wish. Somebody's nephews just traded real cards for proxies, and now somebody's not too happy. But they just did get the message that I was live streaming. Hey, there's Sharky baby. It's been a while since I've seen you, cunt. It's good to see you. I missed you. No, I really have missed you. It's been a while, man. And I haven't gotten your package. You haven't shipped it yet. Twat. Anyway, we're back to the yeah, no, I miss you too. You have my phone number. You know how to get in touch with me. It's not hard. Which one? The fucking binder. I'm still waiting for it unless my neighbors threw it out. If they got it and then threw it out, that wouldn't be the first time. Like seriously, the dark Raichu in Japanese, the first secret rare, I ordered that off of eBay. I got it from eBay in Japan. Uh, it was a whole clusterfuck. This was during like 2021 during the pandemic, so I was like, but no. Here's oh, with the restaurant. Yes, yes, with the not N's restaurant. No, with the Ho-Oh. With the Ethan's Ho-Oh. I mean, if you want to give me a restaurant, I'll take it. But I do believe it was an Ethan's Ho-Oh gold in Japanese from one of those 2 packs because I got 2 packs on that Clayburst. Is it Clayburst? Anyway, check this out, Shark. Number one, I don't get why Flaffy gets so much love, other than the fact that it was in the second Team Rocket set, right? Okay, no, I trust you, Shark. Shit. I know you've been disengaged for a while and you needed a little cleanse. You needed to take a fucking break. You think we didn't know that? Those of you, those of us, those of us that gave a shit about you, that's the sentence I was trying to say, we knew you needed a break, dude. It's not new. But really? You never gave me if you got the shipping info, I'll fucking look it up. That's why I was wondering, because I'm like, I thought he was like, yeah, no, I got it shipped. I was like, okay. If you have the tracking, I mean, I would like to get back to L'étranger, but the stranger, but I would like to show you also. Yeah, I trust you, and I also have another copy of Ethan's Ho-Oh in gold coming to me. That's my first Japanese duplicate, and it's a fucking gold card. I couldn't make this up. And actually, you sold the box from which it came to Wingweaver. This isn't a secret. This isn't like I'm not talking out of school. Wingweaver is sending me the gold Ethan's Ho-Oh. It's part of a trade we did. It's yeah, no, I'm. You know how much I love Ho-Oh and Lugia. Do you know how much about Gen 2? I didn't even play Gen 2 games. All right, apparently we're not going to do the book right now. We'll get into it. I'll finish a fucking chapter, and you'll listen to it and you'll like it. But right now, I would like to show Shark the newest addition to my slabs. I don't, you know me and my massive, what, 8 Pokemon slabs, 10 Pokemon slabs. But anyway, I was on Pokemon's channel, and he did not hit his super thanks goal or anything like that. But toward the end of the stream, we had all like 5, 6, 7, 8 of us had been there for like 3.5 hours, and he was like, "Shit." Well, he wouldn't say shit because it's his channel, not mine. He was like, "Well, hell, I'm gonna give the slab away." What? Do you want the Flaffy? I mean, I'll trade you the Flaffy. You know, I don't collect electric, but Flaffy gets weird attention. I don't know why, but Flaffy gets weird attention considering it has a gold card. It's the only middle evolution card of which I am aware that has a gold card. Can anyone name another one? Anyone name another middle evolution? Because this is not an Ampharos. It's not even the fucking Mega Ampharos. It's just Flaffy. Yeah, I know. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, okay, you guys are a little bit younger than me. Shark, you're a little bit younger than me. You grew up with the animes, and you watched the fucking animes. Cat, you gonna back me up on this? Cat, back me up on this. Yeah, so he watched the animes, so he might actually know, right? Oh wait, let me get you to break your pause. Hold on. This is gonna be a haywire stream tonight. Who the fuck cares? I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Don't care. Lots of hair. Don't care. Anyway, but yeah, no, my cat is compulsive. If you scratch right in the middle of her back to where her tail is, she has to chew on her feet. It's kind of like putting, substances in front of me that they're gonna disappear. No, you're not gonna find another one. There's no other stage. There's stage 1, number 1, because there's basic stage 1, stage 2. So everybody always gets that wrong because we always think of the second stage as being stage 2 is stage 1 because the Japanese fucking hate our logic. They're at war with our logic. Is that a child? Is that a child outside my door? Would you like to say hello? This is not a children-friendly stream, but it is for a second. Thank you. Down here. Yeah, off camera. Thank you, love. We don't do that on camera. Go ahead, grab it. Thank you. But no, here's the camera. Yep, she came to give me a hug. But would you like to say anything to Shark? He's here. Yep, he just said Elizabeth. Shark's here.
Hi.
Yep, she just got a shower. I just washed her up. I got the stank off her. Cut her talons. Yep, the little toenails and fingernails got clipped, huh, honey? Right here, baby, right here.
Hi, Shark.
You can talk to him right here. Just look right here. Look where my finger is, okay? You can
Hi,
say
Shark.
You can say hi to my stream. He said, "What's up?" He said,
Good.
"What's up?"
Good.
Good.
Going to bed.
What's up? Good. Yep, going to bed. It's about that time. It's 9:30. You got school tomorrow, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
You got school tomorrow with who?
Oh, and I fed the fishes.
Yes, you fed the fishes.
And I fed the turtle too.
And the turtle? You fed the turtle too.
Yep, with
Oh,
lettuce.
cool. Cool.
He
With
ate
lettuce?
all the
He ate
lettuce.
the lettuce?
He ate
Awesome.
all of it.
Okay. Awesome. So tomorrow you're gonna probably feed the fish. You might.
Yeah.
Did you guys get bully separated?
Nope.
No?
If he acts it again, I'm gonna get him.
Okay. You're gonna get bully. You're gonna be. She wants to be a superhero, right? You want to be a
Can't
hero.
believe it.
Yes, they are. Cichlids are very aggressive, and you want to be a superhero and save the other fish.
Yep, and say that no fish.
No, we don't have a turtle. It's her teacher's turtle and fish. Try pizza, yeah. Teenage Mutant Ninja, don't ban me. Go ahead. You can give her a kiss night. Go ahead. Good night, sweetie. All right. Where's mine?
Over there.
Where's mine?
I'm trying to get through.
What? It's a cat. There's nothing in the way. It's a cat. Thank you. I love you.
I love you.
I'll see you in the morning. I love you.
Good night, shark.
Go ahead.
Good night, shark.
She says good night. You know she loves you. Back to my friggin' book. I have to wait to swear until she's in bed now. Wet kiss. Why is her face wet? No, I gave her a shower like 20 minutes ago. Why is her... Not even going to ask. Just going to sanitize. Eventually. He was an older, friendly man with a twisted little grin on his face. He gave the policeman a warm handshake. I noticed then that everyone was waving and exchanging greetings and talking as if they were in a club where people are glad to find themselves among others from the same world. That's how I explained to myself the strange impression I had of being the odd man out, a kind of intruder. Yet the reporter turned and spoke to me with a smile. He told me that he hoped everything would go well for me. I thanked him and he added, "You know, we've blown your case up a little. Summer is the slow season for news, and your story was the barricade we were waiting for and the only ones worth bothering about." The newsman is treating this like it is his job to fabricate or exaggerate news so people will watch. Has anything changed since 1957? Anybody? How many binders? I think that's my third or second binder from you. Second. I still owe you for the second one. I owe you for the second binder. Haven't I gotta send you $5-10 for the fucking binder, dude. I keep on asking you. You're like, oh, wait. And I'm like, or wait till when? I don't know. Oh yeah, you know, the blue binder. That's shit. This is what I use for vintage now. Yeah, I've got my vintage promos and hollows and rares and they're upside down because I didn't look because I'm a retard. I'm a moron, and that's okay. I sleep all night and I work all day. Cut down trees, I wear high heels, suspenders, and a bra. Oh wait, that's lumberjacks. My bad. But yeah, no. Yeah. Around. Well, you know how much vintage I have. It's not even full. It's not full. I mean, I need more. It's not full. I mean, they're heavy, dude. Like, obviously, there's going to be the Shrouded Fable. That goes without saying. Shrouded Fable goes into stupid expensive cards. 151 is here, which is what I'm doing with the... I think you said you're sending me a red binder. I really don't care what the fuck color it is. Whatever binder you're sending me, 360 card, or 360... I'll pet you, cat. I know she's staring at me. She's like death staring at me because I'm not petting her. She loves the attention, though, because the camera's on. She fucking loves this. You probably built it and didn't ship it because I'm not high priority. It's not a big deal. But I know, no, it's not. It's okay because I'm always on the list. People forget about me. It happens. It fucking happens a lot. The super PC binder, which is the hidden binder, which is the one that looks like it isn't worth anything because there's no anything on it. Yeah, I know you haven't shipped shit in a while. And yeah, it's been like 3 weeks since you had a break or anything like that. But no, I have my other PC binder, this is my first ever binder. Oh, God, it's beautiful. Did you... Oh, God. I've got to say, the Team Rocket overwhelming... This is my first Gaifu that ever went up in price beyond inflation. This is my first Gaifu that went up beyond the point of inflation. 2-3% a year. That sticks up with inflation. This thing tripling, I thought it was hilarious. It was like, I mean, there's like 4 bosses orders on this page. But that one, That's Giovanni right there. Forever is 10 days ago. I have no attention span. Wait, is that a shiny object? Wait, is that another shiny object? Oh, wait. I'm surrounded by fucking dopamine sugars. Everything around here is a fucking shiny object. I don't get distracted that easily. Wait. No, I don't. I have a jar of pickles. It's a jar of pickles. Oh, Shark. I know it's been like a month, but come on now. It's just a fucking binder and like a car or two. And jar two cats. Kitty, I'm so sorry that I spayed you. It would have been hilarious and a criminal activity, but it would have gotten me so many views. She's just looking at the floor like, fuck you. She's like, whatever, pet me or leave me alone. Yeah, no, she's sitting right fucking here. What do you think she is? She's my cat. Where do you think she is at night? She's my cat. Hi. Hello. Katya. Yes, is it? Oh, lick your paws. Lick your front paws. Do it. Yep. Get to them paws. You want to be in a jar, kitty? We got another one on the way. Huh? I'm not that sick. I mean, I'm sick enough to think about it, but not to do it. God. But seriously, yeah, no, I got the Flaffy. I thought that was pretty cool of him to give away a PSA 9. Yeah, I look right at the cat because she's my girl. I love my cat. Peace out, Shark. Ship my shit. I don't care. Fuck it. Ship my shit. Do it. Now I gotta get back to reading. I'm not reading. My toothless ass sitting here looking at the screen like a retard. I said retard at least 5 times. This is gonna get taken. No, that's 6 now. This is gonna get taken down. Nobody gonna find out what happens in the challenge unless they read it themselves. Buying a book that's only 110 pages. What are you gonna do? He told me that he hoped everything would go well for me. I thanked him and added, we've blown your case up a little. Sorry, as associates, blah, blah, blah. Then he pointed out the direction of the group that he had just left at a little old man who looked like a fattened up weasel. He told me that the man was a special correspondent for a Paris paper. Actually, he didn't come because of you, but since they assigned him to cover the Parasite trial, they asked him to send a dispatch about your case at the same time. And again, I almost thanked him, but I thought that would be ridiculous. How he waved cordially, shyly, and left us. We waited a few more minutes. My lawyer arrived in his gown. I was surrounded by lots of colleagues. He walked over to the reporters and shook some hands. Jesus Christ, this cronyism. This pisses me. This is the part of law that pisses me off. All the prosecutors know the defenders, know the... Oh, God damn it. It's so incestuous that... Yes, I know. That's your big tooth. You don't have to apologize. It's okay. She accidentally nicked me with her the ones I don't have. Those things in her face. They joked and laughed and looked at ladies until the moment when the bell in the court rang. Everyone went back to his place. My lawyer walked over to me, shook my hand, and advised me to respond briefly to the questions that would be put to me, not to volunteer anything, and to leave the rest up to him. To my left, I heard the sound of a chair being pulled, and once I saw a tall, thin man dressed in a red and wearing a pince-nez. That's an old pair of pince-nez means pinches your nose. It's a style of glasses. I'm not going to be all pretentious and assume you know what a pince-nez is. The fact that I do just shows what a fucking wasp I am and the stick that's up my ass. Anyway, pince-nez that was carefully folding his robe as he sat down. That was the prosecutor. No, the pretentious dude was the prosecutor. I'd have thought. A bailiff said, "All rise, hearing judge." At the same time, two large fans started to whir. Files in hand, or three judges, two in black and and the third in red, entered with files in hand and walked briskly into the rostrum which dominated the room. The man in the red gown sat down in the chair in the middle, set his cap down in front of him, wiped his bald little head with a handkerchief, and announced that the court was now in session. The reporters already had their pens in hand. Pens. Oh, God. Oh, 1957. They all had the same indifferent and somewhat snide look on their faces. One of them, however, much younger than the others, wearing gray flannels and a blue tie, had left his pen lying in front of him and was looking at me. All I could see is his slightly lopsided face were his two very bright eyes, which were examining me closely without betraying any definable emotion, and I had the odd impression of being watched by myself. Maybe it was that for that reason that and also because I wasn't familiar with all the procedures, because I didn't quite understand everything that happened next. The drawing of lots for the jury, the questions put by me by the presiding judge to my lawyer, the prosecutor, and the jury. Each time the jurors' heads would all turn toward the bench at the same time. It's like everyone knows what's going on, but the accused. The man hesitated to take the second shot, third, fourth, and fifth. Once again, I live in a state that is a stand your ground state. Motherfucker pulled a knife. You got a gun in your pocket, and it's legal. I'm really pretty sure this would never happen now. Not in my state. Maybe in a, I hate to say this, but in a bluer state. And I mean, I tend to vote, I hate to break it to you, liberally. I know. Shock and alarm. I know, I got all political on my channel. Oh no. Oh, what will you do, you butthurt wankers? I don't care. I don't care what you do, really. If you want to watch this, watch it. If you don't want to watch it, don't. If you want to fast forward until I'm reading, fast forward until I'm reading. Really don't give a fuck. A quick reading of the indictment, in which I would recognize names of people and places, and some more questions to my lawyer. Anyway, the presiding judge said he was going to proceed with the calling of witnesses. The bailiff read off some names that caught my attention. In the middle of what until then had been a shapeless mass of spectators, I saw them stand up one by one, only to disappear again through a side door. The director and the caretaker from the home, old Thomas Perez, Raymond, Masson, Solomano, and Marie. She waved at me anxiously. I was still feeling surprised that I hadn't seen them before when Celeste, the last had been called to be called, she stood up. I'm sorry, Celeste is a man. I always think of it as a woman's name. Sorry. But I didn't have time to. He said that the formal proceedings were about to begin and that he didn't think he needed to remind the public to remain silent. Once again, everybody in the courtroom knows what to do except for the accused, because they're in a ice bucket challenge in their brain, because they're accused. Was he really a murderer? According to him, he was there to conduct in an impartial manner the proceedings of a case which he would consider objectively. The verdict returned by the jury would be taken in a spirit of justice, and in any event, he would have the courtroom cleared at the slightest disturbance. It was getting hotter, and I could see the people in the courtroom fanning themselves with newspapers, which made a continuous low rustling sound. The presiding judge gave a signal, and the bailiff brought over 3 fans made of woven straw, which the 3 judges started waving immediately. Gotta take care of them judges, motherfucker. I mean, they're the important ones. When your life is on the line, I worry about the guy who just clocked in. I'm always like the guy who's like bitching about parking. Ugh, God, I gotta get to this court proceeding about a guy who could lose his fucking life to the death penalty. I'm really inconvenienced. And this is going to color the way my entire day goes. Because people are human, unfortunately. So many fucking humans. And they keep on making more of them. I don't know if you've noticed. Jeez. Let me get through this fucking chapter. This is the longest I've taken on any chapter of this book. And yes, I know Shark showed up and we had a little private conversation in public. That really doesn't fucking matter. I don't care. My examination began right away. The presiding judge questioned me calmly and even, and it seemed to me with a hint of cordiality. Once again, he had me state my name, my age, date, and place of birth, and although it irritated me, I realized it was only natural because it would be a very serious thing to try the wrong man. Well, what if the wrong man is the right man, but the crime isn't? All right, shut up. Then he reread the narrative of what I've done, turning to me every few sentences to ask, "Is that correct?" Each time I answered, "Yes, Your Honor," as my lawyer had instructed me to do. It took a long time because the judge went into minute detail in his narrative. The reporters were writing the whole time. I was conscious of being watched by the youngest of them and by the little robot woman. Everyone on the row of streetcar seats was turned directly toward the judge, who coughed, leafed through his file, and then turned toward me, fanning himself. "Oh, I'm getting the vapors." He told me that he had now to turn to some questions that he might seem irrelevant to my case. Then why ask them? If they're irrelevant to the fucking case, why is the judge asking them? I don't give a fuck about character. I don't care. Like, there's precedent about now, well, not on this, but about previous convictions not being able to be brought up in your trial unless they were relevant. I forget what the statute is. It's a Supreme Court thing. You guys comment in the section if you know how to read, you know how to Google like statutes, federal statutes set down by the Supreme Court. It's a Fourth Amendment thing. Anyway, I said the formal proceedings were about to begin. Yeah. Yes, Your Honor, as my lawyer instructed me to do. It took a long time because the reporters were writing the whole time. I was conscious of the little robot woman. He told me that he had now had to turn to some questions that might seem irrelevant to my case, like I said a second ago, but might in fact have a significant bearing on it. That bothers me every time I read that fucking sentence. Might have a significant bearing on it. If it's not relevant to the case, then how can it have any bearing on it? What color are your shoes? Well, green is the color of shoes that murderers wear. The last 8 murderers we had green shoes. Correlation, causation, fucking character witnesses. This is all bullshit. Sorry. Anyway, I knew right away he was going to talk about Mama again, his mother. Mama is mother. Mom. Just say mom. And at the same time, I could feel how much it irritated me. He asked me why I had put Mama in the home. I answered that it was because I didn't have the money to have her looked after and cared for. He asked me if it had been hard on me, and I answered that my mom and I didn't expect anything from each other anymore, or from anyone else either, and that we had both just gotten used to our new lives. The judge then said that he didn't want to dwell on this point. You see where this is going? He didn't want to dwell on this point. The judge is trying to give him every out to be like, look, be sympathetic to the fucking jury. Just play along. But that's not the facts of the case. The facts of the case are the facts of the case, and they have nothing to do with the emotion of anybody. 60 years later, almost, or 70 years almost. 70 years later, we're 68 years since this book got the fucking Pulitzer Prize. We're still dealing with this bullshit. I'd gotten used to our new lives. The judge then said that he didn't want to dwell on the book. The prosecutor had his back half turned to me, and without looking at me, he stated that, with the court's permission, he would like to know whether I had gone back to the spring by myself, intending to kill the Arab. No, I said. Well, then, why was I armed? And why did I return to precisely that spot? I said it just happened to be that way. And the prosecutor noted in a nasty voice, that'll be all for now. After that, things got a little confused, at least for me. But after some conferring, the judge announced that the hearing was adjourned until the afternoon, at which time the witnesses would be heard. I didn't even have time to think. I was taken out, put in the van, driven to the prison, where I had something to eat. After a very short time, just long enough for me to realize I was tired, they came back for me, and the whole thing started again. And I found myself in the same courtroom in front of the same faces. Only it was much hotter. And as if by some miracle, each member of the jury, the prosecutor, my lawyer, and some of the reporters too, had been provided with straw fans. Everyone but the accused, of course. Because, fuck it, you're accused. You're already guilty. I mean, look at you. You're in orange jumpsuit with shackles around you. You must be a dangerous human being for having, what, a crack rock on you, a little bag of weed, maybe a knife that it was an inch too long for your state's statutes. Is that really, is that worth our time and effort? I would like to congratulate drugs for winning the war on drugs. You're the winners, buddy. Anyway, okay. They weren't fanning themselves, but they were still watching me without saying a word. I wiped away the sweat covering my face, and I had barely become aware of where I was and what I was doing when I heard the director of the home being called. He was asked whether my mom ever complained about me. And he said yes, but that some of it was just the way the residents all had of complaining about their relatives. The judge had him clarify whether she used to reproach me for having put her in the home. So the motherfucking. Okay, so the judge is directing counsel. He's giving leading questions to counsel. I mean, oh my god, this is so flimsy. It could get thrown out in circuit court. Oh god. Anyway, to another question, he replied that he had been surprised of the funeral. He was asked to me what he meant by my calm. The director then looked down at the tips of his shoes and said that I hadn't wanted to see Maman, that I hadn't cried once, and that I had left right after the funeral without paying my last respects to her grave. And one other thing had surprised him. One of the men who worked for the undertaker had told him I didn't know how old Maman was. There was a brief silence. He doesn't know his mother's age. And then the judge asked him if he was sure I was the man he had just been speaking of. Are you sure he didn't know his own mother's age? He forgot his yearly math? Guilty. Jesus Christ, I hate this book and I love it at the same time. I'm sorry. I'm taking it out on y'all, but you're going to have to take it because that's why you're here, right? Then I asked the prosecutor if he had any questions to put to the witness, and the prosecutor exclaimed, "Oh no, that's quite sufficient," with such glee, that with such a triumphant look in my direction, that for the first time in years, I had this stupid urge to cry, because I could feel how much all of these people hated me. After just asking the jury and my lawyer if they had any questions, the judge called the caretaker. The same ritual was repeated for him as all the others. As he took the stand, the caretaker glanced over to me and then looked away. He answered the questions put to him. He said I hadn't wanted to see Mama, and that I had smoked and slept some, and that I had some coffee. It was then I felt a stirring to go through the room, and for the first time I realized that I was guilty. The caretaker was asked to repeat the part about the coffee and cigarette. Because that's the part that's fucking important. The coffee and cigarette. The fact that the man was like, hold on, my mom's dead. Let me have a smoke and a drink here. Let me just have a coffee. Let me have a cigarette. And that's the part the judge wants to fucking know about? Really, that? The prosecutor looked at me with an ironic gleam in his eye. At that point, my lawyer asked the caretaker if it wasn't true that he had smoked a cigarette with me. The prosecutor objected vehemently to this question. Who is on trial here, and what kind of tactics are these? Trying to taint the witness for the prosecution in an effort to detract from testimony that remains nonetheless overwhelming. That it's overwhelming that he smoked a cigarette at his own mother's funeral. I've been to a bunch of funerals, dozens, literal dozens, like at least 3 dozen. No, 30, not 30. Yeah, I've been over 40. I lost count at this point, but I usually have nicotine at these events. I have nicotine about every, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes at least that I'm awake. It's an addiction called nicotine. Jesus Christ. How is that a contributing factor to his guilt that he had a cigarette at his own mother's funeral? Well, no shit he did. He had a coffee and a cigarette. What else are you gonna do at a church? Do a line of coke? Are you gonna shoot some smack in the pew? You're gonna be like, let me tie this off and just like, yeah, it's my mom's funeral. Let's do some meth. Let's do a hot rail off the stove in the kitchen. No. Nobody does that shit. Jesus Christ. Sorry. I get very emotional about this book. I'm not sorry. I'm not apologizing for my emotions. Fuck you. Don't care. The caretaker was asked to repeat the part about the copy and the cigarette. The prosecutor looked at me with it, ironically. At that point, my lawyer asked the caretaker if it wasn't true that he had smoked a cigarette with me, but the prosecutor objected, blah, 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 blah. In spite of that all, the judge directed the caretaker to answer the question. The old man looked embarrassed and said that I knew I was wrong to do it, but I couldn't refuse the cigarette when Monsieur offered it to me. Yeah, it's his fault. He offered me a cigarette. Oh my God, I'm a victim. Oh. Lastly, I was asked if I had anything to add. Nothing, I said, except that the witness is right. It's true, I did offer him a cigarette. The caretaker gave me a surprised and somewhat grateful look. Yeah, because you're not on trial, bro. You just had a cigarette. He hesitated, and then he said that he was the one who offered me the coffee. No hard feelings. He isn't a hardened fucking criminal. People would be like, oh, crucify him already. They would be on it. My lawyer was exultant and said, I stated loudly that the jury would take note of that fact. Hey, he gave him coffee. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, he gave him a cigarette, but he gave him coffee. Why the fuck does that matter in a murder trial? Katya, you got any ideas? You got any ideas? No? She doesn't either. Indeed, the gentlemen of the jury will take note of that fact, and they will conclude that a stranger may offer a cup of coffee, but that beside the body of one who brought him into the world, a son should have had refused it. A fucking cup of coffee or a cigarette. Seriously? The caretaker went back to his bench. When Tomapre came back, a bailiff had to hold him up. We got reliable witnesses here. Hold him up and help him get to the witness stand. Perez said it was really my mother who he had known, and he was seen me only once on the day of the funeral. So he's seen the guy once, and he's a key witness to a murder trial he has nothing to fucking do with. Was he on the beach? No. Did he know the Arab that was shot? No. Did he know anything about the beef or the person who had given him the gun? No. Was he there? No. None of these witnesses were there. They're crucifying his personality. They're killing his id. It's disgusting. He was asked how I acted on that day, and he replied, "You understand me. I was too sad, so I didn't see anything. My sadness made it impossible to see anything, because for me it was a very great sadness. I even fainted, so I wasn't even able to see Monsieur." Talk about overselling it, right? The prosecutor asked him if he had at least seen me cry. Jesus Christ. How is that a... That's not relevant to a murder. Perez answered no. The prosecutor in turn said the gentleman of the jury will take note. He did not cry in an unrelated event that has nothing to do with this murder trial. He did not cry. That his mother, who had been dying for a decade, died. He didn't cry. So he's guilty, you know? That's the mark of a guilty man. Someone who has been waiting a decade for someone to die, who had been on the track to die for a decade. No, you're not allowed to feel anything other than what others ascribe to you to feel. You have to feel the way they want you to feel, or else you are guilty of some ominous sin that we've never even described because you didn't cry. Cunts. The prosecutor asked me if the prosecutor said, the gentleman of the jury will take note. That's so fucked up. But my lawyer got angry. He said, Perez, in what seemed to be my exaggerated tone of voice, if he had seen me not cry. Good question. It can't prove a negative. Had you seen him not cry? Perez said, no. And the spectators laughed. And my lawyer, rolling up one of his sleeves, said with finality, here we have a perfect reflection of the entire trial. Everything is true and nothing is true. The prosecutor had a blank expression on his face. With a pencil, he was poking holes in the title page of his case file. After a 5-minute recess, during which the lawyers told me that everything was working out for the best, we heard the testimony of Celeste. It was called by the defense. The defense meant me. Every now and then, Celeste would glance over in my direction and rotate his Panama hat in his hand. He was wearing the new suit he used to put on to go with me to the races. Sometimes on Sundays. Sunday. Always Sunday in this book. There's a lot of symbolism behind it being Sundays. By the fucking cliff notes, I'm not explaining it, but I think he must not have been able to get his collar on because he had only the brass stud keeping his shirt fastened. Just a long time ago, buttons were optional. He was asked if I was a customer of his, and he said yes, but he was also a friend. What he thought of me, and he answered that I was a man, and what he meant by that, he stated that everybody knew what that meant. He liked to fuck women. If he had noticed that I was ever withdrawn, it was Algiers, a lot of queers in Algiers back in the 50s. So, yeah, he was a man, is a nice way of saying, yeah, he liked the ladies. He was a poon hound, right? Between us, those were just details. He was asked again what he thought about my crime. He put his hands on the edge of the box, and you could tell he had something prepared. He said, the way I see it, it's bad luck. Everybody knows what bad luck is. It leaves you defenseless. And there it is. The way I see it, it's bad luck. He was about to go on, but the judge told him that would be all and thanked him. Celeste was a little taken aback, but he stated that he had more to say, and he was asked to be brief. He again repeated that it was bad luck, and the judge said, yes, fine, but we're here to judge just this sort of bad luck. Thank you. And as if he had reached the end of both of his knowledge and his goodwill, Celeste turned toward me. It looked to me as if his eyes were glistening and his lips were trembling. He seemed to be asking me what else he could do. I said nothing. I made no gestures of any kind, but it was the first time in my life I had ever wanted to kiss a man. The judge again instructed him to step down. Celeste went and sat again amongst the spectators. He sat there throughout the entire trial, leaning forward, his elbows on his knees, the Panama hat in his hands, listening to everything that was said. Marie entered. She put her hand on her hat and was still beautiful, but I liked her better with her hair loose. From where I was sitting, I could just make out the slight fullness of her breasts, and I could recognize the little pout of her lower lip. She seemed very nervous. Right away, she was asked how long she had known me. She said since the time she worked in our office. The judge wanted to know what her relation was to me. She said she was my friend. To another question, she answered yes, it was true that she was supposed to marry me. Flipping through a pile, the prosecutor asked her bluntly when our liaison had begun. She indicated the date. Apparently, she remembered. The prosecutor remarked indifferently that if he was not mistaken, that was the day after Maman had died. Then, in a slightly ironic tone, he said that if he didn't mean to dwell on such a delicate matter, oh, I don't mean to be indelicate about your mother dying, you murdering fuck. You careless, murdering fuck who doesn't have emotions that match what I expect them to be. Ya bastard. You should fry. Jesus Christ, they don't even have. He would have been hung. It's France. Would have been hung. Last execution was what, the year I was born. She indicated the date. The prosecutor remarked, yeah. Then, in a slightly ironic tone, he said that he didn't mean to dwell on subject. Fully appreciate Marie's misgivings, but, and here his tone grew firmer, that it was he was his duty bound. He was duty bound to go beyond propriety. So he asked Marie to describe briefly that day, like when they fucked. He was like, I want to know about when you fucked. When I had first known her. By known, he means fucked. Welcome to 2025. Known has no meaning anymore. Known means in the biblical sense. Marie didn't want to. Yeah, they're raping her on the stand, basically. Without the prosecutor's insistence, she went over to her. You know what? Here. I'm pissed. Can't do that part on screen. So I know there's nobody here because nobody fucking wants to watch a crazy man read a book from like almost 70 years ago. I wouldn't. Shit. Don't know why I'm doing this even. I'm taking antacid. My stomach's acting up. Antacids. Yeah. Prosecutor then rose and very gravely, and what struck me as a real emotion in his voice, he put his finger at me and said slowly and distinctly, "Gentlemen of the jury," there were no ladies back then, "gentlemen of the jury, the day after his mother's death, this man was out swimming, starting up a dubious liaison, and going out to the movies, a comedy for laughs. I have nothing further to say." He sat down in the still silent courtroom, but all of a sudden Marie began to sob, saying it wasn't like that. There was more to it. No. Hey, Mount Killer, what'd it do? We're getting into the point where his personality is put on trial. This is where his social misgivings outweigh the point of the actual trial itself for murder. Like, well, would a guilty person do this? Yeah. Well, he did this. That's correlation, not causation, not equivalency to correlate. Sorry. Just not the way it works. What it do? Mount Killer. Good to see you. He had added that Marie herself would tell the court what film was showing. In an almost expressionless voice, she did, in fact, tell the court that was a Fernandel film. That's a comedy. He was a French comedian, comedy director. By the time she had finished, there was complete silence in the courtroom. Who sees a funeral or who goes to a funeral and then for their mother and then the day after fucks some woman and goes to the movies with her? I don't know, somebody in mourning? I mean, if I'm in mourning for anybody, would I want to get high, fucked, distracted? Yeah, all three of those things. All three of those things would be the same thing, distracted. That's the whole point. That's what part of mourning. God damn, I hate my life. Gentleman of the jury, the day after his mother died, blah, 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 blah. Marie began to sob, saying it wasn't like that, blah, blah, blah. And that she was being made to say the opposite of what she was thinking. That she knew me and I hadn't done anything wrong. But at a signal from the judge, the bailiff ushered her out and the trial proceeded. Like, shut up. Don't add to... No, you were asked a question that was completely misleading. It has nothing to do with this, but the question was straightforward and you have to only answer that question. You cannot add to it because fuck you. Hardly anyone listened after that when my son testified that I was an honest man and I'd even say a decent one. Hardly anyone listened to Salamano either when he recalled how I had even been good to his dog, and he answered a question about my mother and me by saying that I had run out of things to say to Mama and that was why I had put her in a home. You must understand, Salamano kept saying. You must understand. But no one seemed to understand. He was ushered out. Crazy old man with a scabby old dog. Who cares, right? He's not legitimate. He's just some scabby old man who's his neighbor. Now let's get somebody who fits what we want to hear on the stand. Next came Raymond, who was the last witness. He was waved to me all of a sudden and blurted out that I was innocent. The judge advised him that he was being asked not for the judgments, but for the facts. He was being instructed to wait for the questions before responding. He was directed to state precisely what his relations with the victim were. Raymond took this opportunity to say that he was one of the victim, or that he was the one the victim hated ever since he had hit the guy's sister. Nevertheless, the judge asked him whether the victim hadn't also had reason to hate me. Raymond said that my being at the beach was just chance. The prosecutor then asked him how it was that the letter that sent the whole drama in motion had been written by me. Raymond responded that it had just been chance. The prosecutor reported that chance already had a lot of misdeeds on its conscience in this case. Oh, Chance is totally guilty. Get it. Okay, I made the jury laugh. Now they're gonna side with me because I'm the likable. I'm the prosecutor that's likable rather than the defendant, the defending lawyer who has to prove his case rather than disprove. I can disprove your innocence by showing how awful of a human being you are outside of this event. That's not how justice works. God damn it. Nevertheless, the judge asked him whether the victim hadn't also had reason to hate me, blah, blah, blah. The prosecutor retorted that the chance already had a lot of misdeeds, blah, blah, blah. He wanted to know if it was just by chance that I hadn't intervened when Raymond had beaten up his girlfriend. Just by chance that I had acted as a witness at the police station. And again, just by chance that my statements on the occasion had proved to be so convenient. Finishing up, he asked Raymond how he made his living, and when Raymond replied, warehouse guard, the prosecutor informed the jury that it was common knowledge that the witness practiced the profession of a procurer. Is a pimp. Is a fucking pimp. I was his friend, an accomplice. They had before them the basis of a crime made worse than sorted by the fact that they were dealing with a monster, a man without morals. I'm a man without morals. And suck on my ethics, cunt. Raymond wanted to defend himself, and my lawyer objected, but they were instructed that they must let the prosecutor finish, because the prosecutor has all the rights here. It's not the person that's innocent until proven guilty. It looks guilty, it sounds guilty, it smells guilty. Fuck the facts. It's guilty. Unless it's rich, in which case it's innocent until it goes to civil court, and then it's guilty. But only for money, not in a felonious. Fuck America. The prosecutor then put the same question to me, asking if we were friends, and I looked to Raymond, who returned my gaze. I answered yes. The prosecutor then turned to the jury and declared, the same man who the day after his mother died was indulging in the most shameful debauchery killed a man for the most trivial of reasons and did it so in order to settle an affair of unspeakable vice. Drugs and whores. He was a procurer. That means drugs and whores. So yeah, some of his friends weren't the best. Some of his actions didn't meet what people expect from somebody who's mourning. Does everybody mourn the same way? I'll tell you, I don't. This pronouncement. Oh, I accuse this man of burying his mother with crime in his heart. What the hell does that have to? His mother died. He wasn't there. It doesn't make any sense. His mother died without him there, but yet he murdered her in his heart. People with those fucking feeling police, dude. The pronouncement seemed to have been a strong effect on the people in the courtroom, because people are dumb. My lawyer shrugged his shoulders and wiped the sweat from his brow, but he looked shaken himself, and I realized that things weren't going well for me. The trial was adjourned. As I was leaving the courthouse on my way back to the van, I recognized for a brief moment the smell and color of the summer evening. In the darkness of my mobile prison, I could make out one by one, as if from the depths of my exhaustion, all the familiar sounds of a town I loved of a certain time of day when I used to feel happy. The cries of the newspaper vendors and the already languid air, the last few birds in the square, the shouts of the sandwich sellers, and the screech of the streetcars turning sharply throughout the upper town, and that hum in the sky before the night engulfs the port. All this mapped out for me a route I knew so well before going to prison, and which now I traveled blind. Yes, it was the hour when a long time ago I was perfectly content. Wait, what awaited me back then was always a night of easy, dreamless sleep. And yet something had changed. It was back to my cell, and then I had to wait for the next day, as if familiar paths traced in summer skies could lead it easily to a prison as the sleep of the innocent. I'm fucking tired. It's like 10:30. I've been up since 5. I'm tired. I don't know why I'm doing this, but we're gonna fucking finish this book. We're almost done. So close. Chapter 4. I already know where we are. Trial was adjourned. Blah blah blah. Chapter 4. I'm not reading it tonight. I don't feel like it. I don't wanna. I'm tired. Once again, thank you to Pokemon, who is a family-friendly channel. So don't go void out there. Don't go like my channel out there. But won some shit on his channel because he was looking for people to give him some support. Nobody did. Like 2-3 people out of the 10 he wanted did, but he still gave away a slab. I won it, and I got a Flaffy and a 9. Yay! It's cool. I mean, it's a waifu cover, right? I mean, like, it's got a trainer in the back, so if you're stopping by and taking your time out of your day to stare into the window, I'll remind you again, each you once famously pounded, wear this, blah, blah, blah.